Hello, this is Brent Johnson, reference librarian at Widener-Harrisburg Law Library. This tutorial will be about the basics of researching law using the restatement of the law, secondary source sets. First off, if you're in the Widener-Harrisburg Law Library, where will you find the restatements? The restatements are shelved in the open reserve section, so just as you come into the law library, right in front of the information desk will be the open reserve stacks, and you'll find the restatement of laws collections there. First off, what is the restatement of the law? Initially, it was an attempt to codify the common law. In the early 1900s, the American Law Institute was formed to accomplish this task. Important legal scholars were grouped together in areas of legal interest to publish tentative drafts, which the entire body of ALA would approve. And then the often courts in different jurisdictions would lend the restatements of the law greater persuasive authority than other sorts of secondary sources or legal treatises. And right now, the current trend is restatements now are drafted to predict the future of the law or a direction of the law in a particular topic, as opposed to any attempt to codify the common law. Restatement of the law's topics include contracts, property, conflict of the law, trusts. One important thing to remember is that subsequent series of the restatements are not intended to supersede prior versions. So therefore, if you see contract restatements of the law contracts first series and then a second series, the second series of that restatement of contracts is not intended to replace the first series. Some of the basic features of the restatements. The chapters and sections of the restatements of the law contain black letter restatements, or the rules, followed by hypothetical illustrations to illustrate this black letter law in practice. And then reporter notes come after the illustrations, which basically is a legislative and historical history of rules and cases that are applying this black letter law. And then thirdly, after the reporter notes come the tables. There'll be tables of court cases that have cited to this restatement of the law section. There'll be tables of statutes where federal and state statutes are referenced by the restatement of the law, plus cross-references to West topic and key number. If you want to find other legal research items dealing with a particular topic that approaches the restatement you're in, plus a parallel table to other restatements is also found in the table section. In terms of locating a restatement section using the print volumes, the best way to go about this is using the index. Unfortunately, there is no comprehensive index, so you'll have to use the index for each volume of the restatements. Plus, you might find a restatement section cited in a court case or a law review, so that'd be another way of finding out about what section of the restatements of the law might apply to your situation. The restatement index, as said before, there is no comprehensive print index to all restatement topics. There was an inclusive index for the first series of restatement of the laws, but for the second and third series of the restatements, you'll need to check the index of each volume, or in some cases for particular sets. So, for example, the restatement second of contracts is a multi-volume set. There is a comprehensive index for those multiple volumes of the restatements of contracts. So let's say we were interested in researching trade dress. Wanted to find a restatement dealing with trade dress. I would go to the restatements third, dealing with unfair competition, and look in its index. And under the term trade dress, it will lead me to a section of that volume in unfair competition. So I'll look up section 16, trade dress generally. And here's some of the major components of a restatement section. Section 16, trade dress and product design. It starts out with the black letter rule, so the element of proving trade dress. And then here's also a snapshot of the reporter's notes, which gives you the case law, which supports the black letter rule espoused by the committee that drafts the restatements. The restatements of the law is available on both Lexis and Westlaw. Here's the assert screen for the unfair competition restatement of the law on Westlaw. You'll notice that you can either browse the table of contents, so you could scroll through the table of contents to find your trade dress, or you could run a terms and connectors or natural language search on trade dress. So after running my search, I come up with the restatement third of unfair competition, section 16, and here's my text language of the black letter law here. It pretty much tracks what's in the print version. Plus, if I key cite this, it will lead me to both the reporter's notes and then also to cases that have cited this restatement section in their opinions. On LexisNexis, the one distinction between LexisNexis from Westlaw is that the rules part of the restatement and the case citations are broken out into separate databases, so be aware of that distinction. After running a search for trade dress in the rules section, I come to my unfair competition third section 16 trade dress in LexisNexis. I can read this. I can read the language. I can read the case laws in the reporter's notes at the end, or I can click on Shepherdize to find case opinions that cite to this section of the restatement. Shepardizing does not necessarily lead to a listing of the reporter's notes, but you will get a listing of case opinions that have cited this restatement section. In conclusion, restatement of the laws are important secondary legal resources for three primary reasons, I think. First, restatements are good for someone to find a general understanding of common law principles and common law legal rules. Secondly, researching the restatements can lead to important case law on specific areas of the law. So if you want to find the controlling case for a specific common law rule, the restatements of the law will have that. Plus, the illustration section within the restatement of the laws sections is a good way of explaining the application of specific legal principles. So if you want to better grasp how a legal rule should be applied, the illustrations part of the restatement of the laws is valuable in that regard. Thank you for your attention.